we don't talk about enough is how badly the girl boss era affected millennial women. When I was like 23, I was like, my biggest goal in life is to run my own business. And I was like, I'm gonna create a media company. I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, right? And then as I got into my 20s and I was like, oh shit, finding a job is hard. Being an adult is hard. And all the fucking girl boss feminist bitches lied to me. I thought I was looking for my dream job. I was like, this is my dream job. I wanted to work at like fucking BuzzFeed or whatever. And now I'm just so tired. And I'm like, I don't even know if this is what I want to do anymore. You know, I always thought I was like meant to work in media. And I do, and I'm really grateful for it. But I'm just like, why am I not allowed to just vibe? Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
The girl boss era told women they didn't need men. They needed titles, salaries, status, and slogans. Independence was sold as fulfillment. Hustle culture was sold as happiness. Masculinity was framed as optional.
Girl boss culture is so dead. There has been a cultural shift that nobody can deny, especially on social media, of women and their aprons, baking sourdough, caring for their husbands, talking about their dream of being a stay-at-home wife. It is no secret that women are embracing their femininity more and realizing that this whole lie that your career is everything and it's the most important thing in your life was exactly that. It was a huge lie. And I'm just going to speak on personal experience. When me and my husband first got married, like literally a week later, we moved to a bigger city. I started a business there and it was hustle. I was on my laptop until like 2 a.m. marketing just to get like one client. It was a grind. I'm grateful for it. I did well. I hustled. I built something. And then my husband got an incredible job opportunity back in our hometown. So we booked it back to our hometown and just kind of let God lead. Within 2 weeks of us being back here and me not having my business anymore, at that point I was kind of a stay-at-home wife and I was posting content here and there. I swear to you, people that I went to high school with who I haven't talked to in years, or people who just don't know me that well, messaged me on Instagram constantly and they were like, you look so freaking happy, it's insane. And even the people close to me were saying how happy I seemed and how healthy I looked and how like I had this glow. It is because I was able to let go of that hustle and that grind and that striving. I have a man who's providing for me. I'm not having to hustle every single day. I'm not having to stress over building a business. Obviously, I am a content creator now, but I feel like this job specifically flows with the feminine so well because you can create your own schedule. It's very flexible and you can fully express yourself with something like social media. There's no limitations at all. And so many other women on social media have been talking about this, how when they became wives and mothers, they realized that there is genuinely nothing more fulfilling. Unfortunately, in this society and in this economy, it is very hard to get by on one income, especially if you have kids. But if you are someone who thinks your career is absolutely everything and you are denying time with your husband, with your kids, with your family to focus on your career, I'm telling you, it will hurt you in the long run.
Now it's 2026. Silence. Not empowerment silence, rejection silence. Because men didn't get angry. They didn't argue. They didn't protest. They disengaged.
We do not need men. They are an added bonus and fun in our life, but we are okay being single.
You see how women talk? Another one bites the dust. We don't need men. Our women been so liberated, they can get on this line and talk crazy. We don't talk like that. We don't talk like that. We don't do it, but I drop video over and over and over and over again. Young lady, cut it out. You better watch your mouth. Ask your brother, ask your mother, ask your sister. You're doing it wrong. Well, Michael Jackson, that when you need him, we need you back, Michael.
They stopped chasing women who viewed relationships as liabilities and men as accessories. They stopped competing in a market where effort was mocked, loyalty was undervalued, and masculinity was treated like a flaw.
When women make their own money, the last thing they want to do is support a man. Last thing they want to do is support a man.
Believe it or not, no. When women make good money, they don't. When women make money, they don't need a man because they make enough money. They have support.
Okay.
Listen, I can't give any more information. But I fear I may have girl bossed a bit too close to the sun.
And now the same women who said, "We don't need men," are confused that men don't want them. The script flipped.
We're doing everything. We're doing everything. So let's say Sarah's a perfect specimen. You pay all your own bills, run your own business, you pay your own payroll, you got employees, you got your business about you, you know how to cook, you know how to clean. I hired. But if you had to do it yourself, it's true. If maids fell off the planet of the earth, you know. I don't like calling them maids. I call them maids. Whether you outsource or not, yeah, you're doing everything. Okay. So in that sense, if I'm coming into a new relationship and I already do everything, and I'm used to doing everything, and you don't take anything off my plate as far as doing everything, even if that means you're not paying for the outsourcing of me to, hey girl, can you come over and do that thing you do when you're in my house, and when you leave it's clean like magic, okay? Then what is the point of you? Why do I have to be held accountable to somebody who's not changing my life? And why would I follow your lead if I don't feel like you're going anywhere? So now men don't know how to lead because I don't have anyone who will follow, but I'm not having anyone who follow because I'm not exhibiting the leadership qualities, but because you're not giving me an opportunity, but because I don't know how to be a man because I was probably only raised by my mom, and my mom doesn't know how to be a man because it takes a man to raise a man. And it's like this never ending story of now I can't be a leader because she won't let me lead her because she saw her mom work 3 jobs and she knows how to do everything all by herself. And here I come as the man and I don't know how to be a man because I was raised by my mom. And now that I'm raised by my mom and I'm being a man and I don't have any leadership qualities because I never led anybody, but now I also don't have the wherewithal to take on any of the things off of your plate. And I feel like I'm not taking those things off my plate, so you don't see me as a leader, and you continue to go in your masculine, and you continue to do all the things, and you do live your life according to, I don't need you, but I want you. And that's a good place to live, because should you be dependent on anybody? No. But I feel like the power dynamic of all the things that happen is because women, we don't let men lead, and men, they don't want to be leaders. The beautiful part about surrendering to your man or submitting to a man who's led by the right thing is if this sink goes down, it's not my fault. I'm not the captain. I'm not the captain.
That's a fact.
I did not lead us into detriment.
Okay, feminism is a scam.
Feminism is a scam. I do not want to be independent. I want to be so codependent. I need my husband. I want my husband. I want to follow his lead. That's how God created me. He created me in a way to follow. He created me as a helpmate. He created me as an opposite to Adam, right? If women could be a woman, if women acted like women
instead of men,
because
they're acting like men,
we'd have better men.
Career success didn't replace connection. Independence didn't replace intimacy. Validation didn't replace partnership. Status didn't replace stability. Men didn't fear girl bosses. They simply didn't desire the lifestyle. Because men don't compete with careers.
Men do not want an independent boss babe. They want a feminine woman. Here's why. Masculine and feminine energy cannot compete in the same space. You are both trying to lead, dominate, and control. There is no polarity. There's no spark. The attraction will die. A man does not need another boss in his home. He already deals with the competition in the world. What he wants when he comes home is peace, softness, respect, and a woman who trusts him enough to lead the relationship. Now, don't get it twisted. Being feminine is not weak. It's powerful in its own way. It's knowing how to nurture, support, and inspire a man in a way that nobody else can. That's what creates longevity and passion in the relationship. So when a woman says, I don't need a man, I'm independent, what she's really saying is she wants to compete with you instead of connect. And men, do not sign up for competition in your own house. Men want women who bring balance, not battles.
They don't negotiate with egos. They don't chase ideology. They don't build families with movements. They choose peace. They choose respect. They choose simplicity. They choose environments where masculinity isn't treated like a defect.
That a lot of the reason why men are now saying, I'm not gonna open your car door, and I'm not gonna pay your bill, and I'm not gonna do, is because you spent, ladies, years now thanks to feminism, thanks to the indoctrination, thanks to I don't need a man, all this crap that you swallowed and then regurgitated like a dumb parrot, you spent years basically training these guys out of what was their natural instinct and saying, I don't need you to do these things for me. I don't need you to open the door for me. I can do it myself. I don't need you to pay the bill. I have my own money. I'm an independent woman. I don't need you to do any of this stuff. I don't need a man. Right? And now that you said all that to the guys and they internalized it and they said, oh, really? Okay, well, I'm tired of hearing this. So, you know what? Pay your own damn bill or split the bill or whatever, or I'm not going to be opening your door or whatever. Now you're like, where's all the gentlemen? Do you want to be a woman? Are you trying to be in the woman's role? So, honey, listen, own up. You caused a lot of this. Women need to own up that they caused a lot of this. And if they want the gentleman back, maybe they should start acting like ladies. Just an idea, just a concept to consider, just saying.
And now the shock sets in, because the marketplace changed. The leverage disappeared. The attention doesn't convert into commitment. And the men who walked away didn't circle back.
When feminists say they don't need men, you ready for this? When feminists say they don't need men, 96% of construction workers are men. 95% of electricians are men. 95% of plumbers are men. 98% of carpenters are men. 94% of HVAC technicians are men. 97% of mechanics are men. 96% of welders are men. 91% of truck drivers are men. And we know what the other 90%
Yeah, right, Marge.
Yeah.
Large
97% of roofers are men. 95% of oil rig workers are men. 90% of machine operators are men. 85% of network engineers are men. 91% of mechanical engineers are men. 86% of civil engineers are men. 96% of firefighters are men. 85% of police officers are men. 80% of military personnel are men. 90% of pilots are men. 94% of train operators are men. 92% of forklift operators are men.
Wow.
These are some of the riskiest jobs in the world.
Girl boss culture didn't make women powerful. It made them alone. And men didn't abandon them. They simply stopped wanting what the culture created.
My question is, if women are so self-sufficient, if women don't need men, if women are very independent, why do they always come out their mouth asking men for money? Asking men to take care of them? Wouldn't you just be reliant on yourself and not what a man can provide for you?
The girl boss era didn't teach cooperation. It taught competition. Not partnership, performance. Not balance, hierarchy. Not love, leverage.
Boss babes? Ugh. No, that I don't need a man, I make my own money energy, that is not empowering, that is exhausting, and you are repelling him. You're not in your power, you are in defense mode. It's not confidence, it is control over everything. You've been hurt, let down, disappointed, and now you call your walls standards. You intimidate weak men, but you will never attract leaders. No real man wants to compete with the woman he's supposed to attract. No real man wants to compete with the woman he is supposed to protect. Somewhere along the line, women confused aggression for strength and independence for their whole identity. Now everybody is hard, guarded, and miserable, bragging about doing it all alone like it's a badge of honor. But that's not feminine power. That is burnout. Jordan Peterson said it himself. We all know who he is. The majority of high performers on this planet are men. Dominant, disciplined, stoic men, because that's the game. That level of intensity, that tunnel vision and competitive drive is masculine energy. And when women try to live in it 24/7, they burn out. They shut down emotionally and they start repelling the very kind of man that they say that they want. It's not because you're capable, ladies. It's because you're not wired to live in constant dominance. Your nervous system wasn't built for endless pressure. You can lead, achieve, and build an empire, sure, but if you never come back to softness, you become the man you are trying to attract. A high-value man isn't turned off by your success. He's turned off by your masculinity because he doesn't need another him. He needs peace. You can follow your dreams and still be feminine. You can make money and still let a man lead, but you cannot out-masculine him and expect him to stay attracted to you. Real femininity isn't just submission. It is self-assurance. It's knowing when to stop fighting everything and allow things just to flow. So yeah, boss babes, cute for the internet, sure. But the women who win, the ones who have the business, the peace, and the man, they learned when to stop performing in strength and to start embodying their own feminine power.
Relationships became transactions. Men became utilities. Masculinity became optional. Femininity became negotiable. So men adapted.
Women will cry when you make them put in effort. Women just want to exist and get the world. I don't want to do anything, and I want you to take care of everything, and I don't want to think, and I don't want to do anything around the house, but guess what? Where's the value come from? You don't have inherent value, sweetie, okay? Just because you exist in this world doesn't mean you're deserving of anything. And you think that you can just be here and get the world and a rich guy and all this nonsense. Put up some fucking effort, right? Get to work. What else are you gonna do? You can't just exist and reap the rewards.
They didn't try to dominate the space. They didn't try to reclaim it. They didn't try to fight narratives. They opted out.
I don't really care about a woman's money. I'd prefer she's not in debt, and perhaps she can take care of herself, but she doesn't need to be a boss babe. She doesn't need to be grinding, working 70 hours a week. I'm not really. The thing with work, and there is a certain cutthroatness that you need to develop, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're self-employed. Doing business can sometimes be, you're dealing with certain personalities, and like you have to like deal with the politicalness of the corporate world if you're in like a corporate job. And I think you do tend to develop perhaps more masculine traits as a woman if you're very heavily, not always, but you can start developing a bit more of a, you know, you may get a little bit more in your masculine, which some men might find less attractive.
They built lives that didn't require approval. Careers without chaos. Homes without noise. Routines without emotional volatility. Peace without negotiation. And now, in 2026, the confusion is visible.
Okay, you guys are all just like really misogynistic.
How do you define misogyny? What? How do you, I'm just asking how you define misogyny.
Can I go?
Are you okay? Like, do you want, you want to go as in leave?
Can I please go?
If you, yeah, no, look, if you want to leave, you can leave. I was hoping we could continue having a conversation, but, okay, I mean.
Being strong and independent doesn't feel powerful when no one chooses you. Being high value doesn't hit the same when no one commits. Being unbothered stops working when the silence is real.
This may just be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like as a society, we are kind of fizzling away from the boss babe culture. Like, I feel like a lot of my friends are just models that I've worked with in the past, or colleagues and things like that. They're just like, girl, I just don't want to work anymore. Like, they're moving out of the big cities. They're kind of settling down at a very young age. Like, I'm talking early 20s. They're like, I'm done. I don't want to work. I just want to be married. I just want to be a wife. And let me tell you, when I was in high school growing up, for like my entire life, the short life that I have lived, everybody was telling me, Savannah, you need to go get a college degree. You'd be great as a lawyer or a politician or a doctor, like just things, just bigger careers, because I am a passionate person. They would always tell me to have a big career like that. And I always thought that I would be doing something like that. I wanted to be a criminal defense attorney for the longest time, which takes a lot of work and it's a lot of school. And then I got married at 18. And when you marry somebody who provides for you and is very masculine, and you can just turn your brain off around them, it changes your entire mindset. Like, I don't even know the girl from 2 years ago that wanted a career so badly and was such a hustler. Not saying that I'm not a hard worker anymore and that I'm not driven, but when you get married to somebody who does all the thinking for you, it is so nice. And we moved to a bigger city when we first got married, and we ended up moving back home to our small town. And I'm just a wife. Like, I absolutely love it. I have such a good life this way, and I couldn't have imagined it in any other way. Applying to colleges and trying to figure out my career path was so incredibly stressful. It was so stressful. And so I think it's amazing that we're kind of shifting away from that. I'm not saying it's bad to be a boss babe, but I'm telling you right now, when you actually relax into your femininity and let somebody else take care of you, girl, life is so much better.
Girl boss culture promised independence. Men chose peace. And in 2026, the silence isn't oppression. It's preference.
Men stopped playing by the rules. And now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest move.